Here's your news for December 10th, 2019. We are starting off today with news from Monday Night Raw, as the WWE finally pulled the trigger on Seth Rollins' heel turn. This week's show centered on Kevin Owens, who was hunting the AOP after the pair assaulted him last week, and well, at one point it looked like the prizefighter was going to confront Rollins. Akam and Rezar showed up just in time before anything got physical. Backstage with Charlie Caruso, Owens said he blames Rollins for the AOP attacking him last week, claiming that he was the only member of the roster to speak up against the self-professed locker room leader. After bumping into Rey Mysterio, the United States champion offered his homie to help back up Owens, and that homie was the steel pipe he used to level Brock Lesnar last month. On his search, the former Universal Champion even shared the screen with Mojo Rawley and asked the hype man if he'd seen Akam and Rezar. When Mojo couldn't decide which way he saw the tag team go, this didn't sit well with Owens, who slapped Rawley hard in the face to help him remember. Later in the show, Rollins interrupted the Viking Raiders, which led to Owens coming out to attack Mojo, who was aligned this week with Sami Zayn, who described himself as the former Hype Bros Liberator. On Twitter, Mojo addressed the attack by Rollins, claiming that the former NXT champion will need a lot more steel pipe shots to try and slow him down. Later in the show, the steel pipe-wielding Owens made a beeline for the AOP's van, but was shocked by a mysterious figure in the back, and was quickly attacked outside of the vehicle by the former Raw Tag Team Champions. The mystery man turned out to be none other than Rollins himself, and after a curb stomp by the Beast Slayer, this heel turn was confirmed, complete with Rollins walking away with his new partners. Following a commercial break, Rollins told the WWE Universe how he had done everything right for them, including competing every night and wrestling through injuries, only to be booed by the crowd, and would go on to berate the live crowd in South Carolina. This explanation is a great story, as it's no secret that the fans have turned on Rollins in 2019, and the best heels are the ones who think their actions are justified, and it's obvious Rollins thinks he's in the right. Time will tell what happens next with the Architect, but the fact that the fans on social media are now praising Rollins for his actions this week, despite lambasting him over the past few months, only gives credence to what the Beast Slayer is saying. In more Raw news, the Red Brand got their first confirmed match for this Sunday's TLC event, as Aleister Black will go one-on-one with Buddy Murphy. The match was confirmed on the Go Home show for the pay-per-view, as a promo from Murphy claimed that the Australian was better than the Dutchman, although Black made a statement of his own by defeating Akira Tozawa. Black and Murphy have been feuding since the final Raw before Survivor Series, and while Black didn't immediately fight Murphy after the former Cruiserweight champion knocked on his door, Murphy said the Gothic superstar was all hype. More matches were added to this Sunday's pay-per-view, as the WWE has confirmed that Rusev and Bobby Lashley will face off again. We're now 2 months into the Rusev-Lana-Lashley love triangle, and while fans haven't been thrilled at the story, it has allowed all three consistent booking on Raw. On this week's show, the unhappy couple of Rusev and Lana confirmed their on-screen divorce by signing papers, though the Bulgarian Brute did add a clause saying that to confirm their divorce, Lashley will have to meet him in the ring on pay-per-view in a tables match. This is certainly an odd way to stick it to Lana and Lashley, who will now receive a bonus for appearing on the pay-per-view, but after months of awkward booking and a fall from grace considering how over Rusev Day was last year, it seems this angle is finally coming to a close. More news for TLC now, as the WWE's Women's Tag Team Champions Asuka and Kairi Sane will take on Becky Lynch and Charlotte Flair in the first ever Women's Tag Team Tables, Ladders, and Chairs match. 1 week after defeating the Queen in handicap action, Asuka and Sane took on Becky Lynch, and though the man got the win via disqualification, she certainly didn't look like a winner to the steel chair-wielding Asuka and Sane, who gave a flying elbow off the top rope through a table to add insult to injury. Before the match, Flair had even offered to be in Lynch's corner, which the Raw Women's Champion refused, but now the longtime friends and enemies will team up, after the Kabuki Warriors laid out the challenge for TLC. Though Lynch has beaten practically everyone there is to beat this year, she is yet to get the big win over Asuka, and after losing to the Empress at the Royal Rumble, the man is still hungry to get her win back. We're taking a break from WWE now to focus on former superstar Big Cass, as fans will remember his incident this year with AEW's Joey Janela. After an unfortunate set of incidents this year, Cass and Janela got into a fight at an indie show, but Janela chose not to press assault charges on the 7-foot star, who was going through some mental health issues at the time. Yesterday afternoon, though, Cass tweeted something that was quite concerning, claiming that he would end Janela's life if the AEW bad boy mentioned him again. This tweet was quickly deleted, but not before plenty of fans shared screenshots, as given Cass's mental health issues in the past, as well as the threatening tone of the tweet, many people called the Certified G out on it. Defending the deleted tweet, Cass sent out a second, claiming that it was just a work and called the fans morons, but Janela fired back, saying that the only person Cass was working was himself. In a follow-up statement, the bad boy of AEW elaborated on his point, saying that Cass shouldn't be making threats and then trying to cover them up, adding that he gave Cass the benefit of the doubt before, but now sees him as a moron. It's still concerning after the WrestlePro event in September that saw the police involved that Cass is still making headlines for all the wrong reasons. And while Janela has previously stated he's pulling for Cass to turn his life around, we can't help but wonder how the AEW star feels now. We're not sure what prompted Cass to threaten Janela, but we still hope that the former WWE superstar gets the help he needs, because he still has a lot to offer in the wrestling business if he decides to stay in the industry. Back to WWE now, and though WrestleMania 36 may be months away, the company has already confirmed its first wave of Hall of Fame inductees, as the NWO and Batista will be joining the elite group. These inductions will mark the second induction for each member of the NWO, as the group will be represented by Hulk Hogan, Scott Hall, Kevin Nash, and X-Pac, and the first induction for the Animal. Speaking to ESPN, Hogan described the group as guys who went at Vince McMahon as a shoot, saying, "You've got 4 guys that were basically going at Vince as a shoot, pushing hard to actually try to take over. Not put him out of business, but basically take his spot and be the #1 company. All of a sudden, you're inducting 4 guys in the Hall of Fame that 20 years ago were trying to stab you in the back. It's like Vince says, in the WWE, never say never." It's very interesting that the company opted not to include Eric Bischoff, who was such a large part of the team back in WCW. But after Bischoff's disastrous run as the executive director of SmackDown, it's not hard to see why. For Batista, his induction was reported by People magazine, who got the chance to speak to the Animal about the upcoming ceremony in Florida. He said, "As soon as I hung up the phone, I was, and excuse my language, I was like, shit, I gotta give a speech. And that is what I've been stressing about since. I don't think it's sunk in," he says. And I was thinking about it because, it seems like a long journey, but it also feels like yesterday when I started my career. And it also feels, because I'm still working so much, it doesn't feel like an end of a journey. Since joining the WWE main roster in 2002, it's no secret that Batista's career was a whirlwind of success, and he has transitioned nicely out of the ring into a profitable career in Hollywood, including roles in Blade Runner 2049, the James Bond movie Spectre, and the Marvel Cinematic Universe. Speaking about how he received the news, the Animal revealed that he heard it from the main man himself, stating, "Vince McMahon called me personally to ask me. I wasn't surprised, but I was pretty happy. It's a good feeling. It's a really great feeling." Later on in the day, when the news was doing the rounds, SmackDown superstar and Batista entrance enthusiast Xavier Woods got involved, claiming that a member of Evolution or Reverend Devon should induct the Animal, though Batista has somebody else in mind. A person that nobody would have predicted, Batista has publicly requested Fit Finlay to do the honors next year on the night before WrestleMania, as the Irishman was a key part in helping the Animal backstage. Time will tell whether the company gives Batista what he wants, as most fans probably expect someone like Triple H to induct him, but with the Guardian of the Galaxy making his choice so publicly known, it may be hard for them to deny this request. Back to Raw now, and after months of being absent from TV, Liv Morgan is officially on her way back to the ring. During this week's show, WWE aired a promo for the returning Morgan, showing several highlights from her career before promising a makeover for the pink-haired powerhouse. Though fans speculated that Morgan was going to become the human vessel for Bray Wyatt's sister Abigail, it looks like the company has different plans, and the commentators, especially Jerry the King Lawler, shared their excitement to see the return of the Riot Squad member. Though fans can expect to see Liv Morgan back in the ring relatively soon, one star they shouldn't expect is Lars Sullivan. According to reports by the Wrestling Observer, Sullivan is only halfway towards making a return after requiring knee surgery that has kept him out of action for the majority of the year. It's been an awkward year for the Freak, who suffered an anxiety attack shortly before making his main roster debut and was fined $100,000 by the company for racist, homophobic, and offensive comments he made earlier in his life, both before and while he was signed with WWE. It's unclear just how much longer Sullivan will be out for, but hopefully his return will give him a more sustained run on the main roster after a difficult 2019. And finally today, we're wrapping with the results from Raw that we haven't been able to cover so far. In the first match of the night, Matt Hardy took on Drew McIntyre, but the experience of the former ECW champion was no match for the Scottish psychopath who leveled Hardy with a claymore to get the win. The Raw Tag Team Champions, the Viking Raiders, were able to retain their titles when their open challenge was accepted by the Street Profits, and, in a shocking upset, Humberto Carrillo got the win over Andrade. After the match, Andrade was quick to blame his manager Zelina Vega for the loss, as the former NXT champion accidentally knocked her from the ring apron, and it seems there may be some serious issues for El Idolo and Vega. Ahead of his match against Aleister Black this weekend, Buddy Murphy was looking to prove himself in the ring, and did just that with a victory over Zack Ryder. Pinning the former Intercontinental, US, and Tag Champion, Murphy sent a clear message to the Gothic Dutchman, who we expect was watching intently behind the scenes. Erick Rowan's path of rage continued again this week with a victory over a local competitor, though this match didn't end by pinfall, submission, disqualification, or countout. Instead, the match was stopped prematurely after the local star grabbed Rowan's beloved pen he's been carrying and placed it at the top of the ramp. 3 iron claws later, and the ref had no choice but to call the match off, but as Rowan screamed at the jobber for trying to hurt someone he loves, we may be finally starting to get some answers for what's in the pen. And in the main event, Rey Mysterio was able to retain the US title against AJ Styles thanks once again to Randy Orton. Distracting the Phenomenal One at ringside after the OC had already been dispatched by Mysterio, Orton's intervention was just enough to throw Styles off his game, and a quick roll-up by Rey was all it took to retain the gold. Things would go from bad to worse for Styles and the OC after Raw went off the air though, as the trio were dispatched of by Humberto Carrillo, Orton, and Mysterio, and Styles himself suffered a 619/RKO combo to send the crowd home happy. This was certainly a night that the phenomenal former champion would like to forget, but with Styles seemingly out of the title picture for now, it'll be interesting to see who steps up next to face Mysterio. But who do you think Rey should challenge next? Leave a comment below, and as always, thanks for watching.